Hi, welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. I've been trying to convince guys to get into the trade to become a commercial engineer, but it's been so difficult. Are you a commercial engineer? Let me know how you're finding it. Okay, back into the real world. So I was working on this boiler. I heard it was leaking and my workplace classed it as urgent. It's been leaking for a while, as you can see. Look at all this mold and stuff. It's just from the slightest drip. So I had to pop off the unit, look inside. I wanted to check that the unit was actually operating before I isolated it. So here is where it was leaking from. Can you see? Can you see that slight drip? This is just a domestic sort of single point boiler. It's in a sort of commercial setting, no? Serving a decent sized building. Here's the leak. That little leak was causing havoc over time. I think it's been leaking for years. So I was just making sure that the unit was isolated. Then I lit the pilot. And flicked it over and then turned the hot water on, and that unit's going to need analyzing. Okay, on to me changing a part on a boiler. So I'm changing a PRV, but I was just having a look at the wiring beforehand. It was a mess, absolute mess. I don't know what the previous person was thinking. Absolutely crazy. So I was making sure this unit was working. So then I was preparing my PRV, had a bit of Loctite on there. I put a bit of LXX on it because I didn't have any paste near me, any other paste. And there's the old one, was draining it down. Had the Stiltsons on there. But rewinding, let's rewind. So I had to turn the power off to the pump. I did turn the power off to the boiler first, dissipated the heat, and then I decided to isolate the valves. I checked my pressures and so on to make sure that the valves weren't bypassing. So you can see I turned the pump back on there because I remembered the boiler should go off first. And I isolated my valves and kept an eye on my pressure. I did a little recce. You always got to check to see what you're dealing with. Are the units working? What kind of situation you've got here? The wiring was atrocious. There was wires everywhere. Okay, they were redundant, but still, there's a way to put wires right. Another unit to one side, but that unit was off. So I isolated my valves. And then I started draining down at the front of the boiler from the drain point. And then also from the PRV. And then trying to hold this in place, this PRV, and then installing the new one. Got some Loctite there. And then popped the new one on. Okay, got the new valve in place. Trying to just do it hand tight first so that we don't get any cross threading or anything of that nature. Just a little insurance job this. Sometimes these valves get checked and they're out of date, and the insurer prefers them to be changed. Okay, this looks like it's ready for the Stilton. And then funny enough, getting the unit to ignite was a bit tricky because it needs to be programmed on the timer to come on my way to a call out. And I just want to show you this plant room here on the left. Have you ever seen it on the A13? I always look at it because it's nice to see open plant rooms. Just heading into this new 30 mile per hour zone. I better slow down. Do you ever come past this bit in London on the A13? If you do, give me a shout. And then this is me getting closer to London, and I have lovely big bed. On this particular job, I had 2 boilers locking out, and I suspected that it was to do with low water pressure or air in the system. So I had my gauges on using my analyzer and to check the flow and return. Topped the system up, vented it. I had to force the one on the left on. So I was venting at the back there. I don't know if you can see. And then I had a little link on my flow switch at first initially, but then I removed it. These are the fault codes I initially had. It's always good to record these. And there's the link I had initially in order to get on. See the link on the left, the blue link? I throw a link on the flow switch. to get the boiler on the left on. And this was my flow and return temperature. I switched the pumps over because I suspected that one of the pumps was not working properly. And I am extremely fascinated that my neighbors are going for it with their heating, and their heating can just stay on for ages. Mine goes on and goes off very quickly because it is not that cold at the moment. But my neighbors, all of them seem to be just gas guzzling and just burning up loads of gas. I don't know why. Maybe their heating hasn't been regulated, or they just want to be comfortable and they don't care about the cost. And I am amazed by that. Let me know what you guys are doing with your heating and your hot water and gas and so on at the moment, and cutting back, because I don't know what the prices are like where you are, but where I'm standing, it's very expensive. And I'm still studying my electric course. It's ongoing. I think I'm going to be finished about next year, July or before then. All right. Thank you for joining me. Until next time. Bye.